We're tracking the latest developments in that deadly terror attack in New Orleans overnight. 15 people were killed when a man drove a rented pickup truck into a crowd and fired an assault rifle before police shot and killed him. More than 30 people were hurt. The FBI is investigating the attack as an act of terrorism after an Islamic State flag was found on the truck's trailer hitch. Police found guns and pipe bombs wired for detonation inside the vehicle as well, and investigators do not believe the driver acted alone. For more on security on public events, we want to bring in Jim Fuda, the Executive Director of Crime Stoppers Puget Sound. Jim, thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
The use of vehicles as a weapon is something that's becoming more common. We have seen this not just in the U.S., but worldwide. So from a security standpoint, Jim, are attacks of this nature preventable at all?
Well, crowd management in itself is a difficult task to keep large events like this and everybody safe. And vehicles are just an easy target. You steal one, you rent one, and they're easier to get than a firearm. So these are low probability that something like this stuff happens, but when they do happen, as you can see, they're very high impact. So the police do a lot of planning, pre-planning in these types of events and we see many of them around the U.S., especially during the holiday time.
Jim, the FBI believes the suspect had help in this attack, that this person did not act alone. So given your experience in law enforcement, describe the nature of the investigation happening in New Orleans, what they'll be looking at, what they're going to be focusing on right now. Sure.
It starts out with motive, although it seems pretty clear. You can speculate what the motive was, but the bottom line is that they need to prove and find out for sure what that motive was. So they'll be checking this suspect's social media, his texts, phone records, his voicemails, any contacts and they're reaching out to the public, as you can see already, to see if anybody's had contact with him, to please notify the police.
We know that the Sugar Bowl has been delayed until tomorrow, pushed back 24 hours. New Orleans is hosting the Super Bowl next month. What improvements, in your opinion, can be made ahead of major events moving forward?
Well, to understand some of the background of how security events are put together, is that there's a risk assessment done. You know, what type of event is it? What kind of people is it going to bring? Background of similar events, and if past events is at the same location. Estimated size of the crowd, and even things like the date, time, and the weather will impact how many people that will even show up. So there'll be an incident command system where that's away from the scene that will bring all the first responders and planners together, police, fire, and EMS. And then there's an incident command close to the location where, like, officers report, where their briefings are given, these kinds of things. So where they get up-to-date information as things, the event evolves and changes, so police can react to whatever the situation might be.
Last question for you, Jim, and it's about really empowering people, because we know that these terror attacks, these events are meant to paralyze people, or it's meant to cancel events, it's meant to shut people down. That's not going to happen. People are still going to go out, celebrate, meet, and gather. Events are rarely canceled around here. What can people do if they want to better protect themselves, given what's happened in New Orleans? If they want to show up, partake in these events, what can they do? What steps can they take to feel safer, to be safer?
Yeah, that gets into situational awareness. Know your surroundings. Look at places where can I get an exit? Where if a car's coming at me, where can I go? Can I jump out of the way to protect myself and my family at some of these types of events? And also ahead of time. Even if you see something, tell a cop, or if it's even prior to the event and you don't think it's anything, you can report it to us at Crime Stoppers. We'll get those to the right people that help builds that risk assessment that we just talked about.
All right, Jim Fuda, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I appreciate it, Jim.
Thanks so much.